Hello and welcome to Lug to Lug, the channel where two mates talk about watches. And this week we're going to be talking about 5 reasons why Ben is selling his Oris Aquis.
Yeah, very sadly.
Here we go.
Before we start talking about the Oris, let's just do the customary wrist check. So I'm wearing my Tudor Black Bay GMT, which was one of our previous videos, so check that one out if you're interested to learn more about this watch.
And I'm wearing the Seiko Saab 033, which was featured in our last video.
Oh, very nice.
Yeah.
So you haven't sold it?
Not yet. Still holding on to it.
Okay, before we go into the specifics about why you're selling it, I guess it would be interesting for the viewers to know why you bought it in the first place. So how long ago did you buy the Oris, Ben?
Yeah, so I bought it 18 months ago, not long after I'd been introduced to Oris from yourself. Ollie has the Oris Diver 65, the discontinued variation actually. That was the first time I actually got hands-on with an Oris watch and I was impressed. So naturally I went home, googled Oris, looked at lots of Oris YouTube videos, looked at the Diver 65 and then also came across the Aquis, which I think is they're probably like their flagship dive watch.
Probably is, yeah. It's probably their most technically capable one, right?
Technically capable, yeah, that's probably the best way to put it. And yeah, I quickly kind of became very interested in the watch, having watched many videos. I liked the dimensions as well.
Yeah.
I recently bought the Seiko Saab, which was 39mm.
Okay.
This is 39.5.
Yes.
And it probably wears, or at least feels like it's a little bit smaller.
Yeah.
Because you've got the integrated bracelet, which immediately drops down and kind of sits on the wrist very nicely.
See that there.
Yeah.
It literally drops straight down, and the lug.
The
lugs are really short. Almost strangely short.
Yeah.
They're almost
it's a very compact watch.
Yeah.
And for lack of a better term, it's very bulbous.
Yeah.
So that's the only way I can describe it. It's quite bulbous. So it's thick, but it's compact, and it's sub 40 mil, which I was looking for at the time.
Yeah.
And actually, it was the first luxury watch that I was going to purchase. So
that must have been quite a big moment then, I guess, when you. When you kind of commit to spend that much money on a watch.
Yeah,
it's not a decision you take lightly, is it?
No, it's not.
Did a lot of research.
So
you were quite sure about this watch really then at the point of purchase?
I was, yeah. And actually, funnily enough, I do now own an Oris Diver 65, which we've seen in previous videos, but I didn't really
like that.
Look at that one much. I was quite drawn to the Aquis.
Yeah, slightly more modern, bit more kind of tool watchy, I guess, in some ways, isn't it?
It's tool watchy, it's very hard wearing.
Yeah.
There's literally no scuffs on it at all.
Because it's a ceramic bezel insert, right?
It's a ceramic bezel insert, yeah, which is very impressive for a watch that's, sub £1,600.
Yeah. And then you've got the display case back as well, which I guess is another nice feature.
The display case back, yeah. You've got the Salita SW200 movement in there, which for me, with this particular watch, hasn't been the most accurate. And that's one reason why. Yeah,
neither is mine, to be honest.
Yeah,
I don't think it's the. I don't think either of them
much consistency across the board. The Salita, particularly like the lower end Salita SW200 movements, I don't think they're sort of calibrated very well.
No, and maybe not that robust either, because I think mine in my Diver 65 is not very accurate either, really. But I have also kind of knocked that watch around a bit, so it's probably a bit my fault.
Yeah.
And the black on the black dial, black bezel, was that something you wanted at the time as well?
Absolutely, yeah. At the time, yeah. I thought a black watch would be timeless. It goes with any outfit.
Yeah.
But yeah, having now owned, I've got 2 black dial watches in my collection, the Seiko being the other one. Over time, it's just, I don't know, it's become quite an uninteresting looking dial for me.
Yeah.
It's quite bland, I would say. Yeah. I don't know. My opinions on the watch have changed quite a lot recently.
Yeah.
And I think it's because, obviously, you guys don't know, but I have the Formex Essence 39, which is a micro brand watch, a Swiss micro brand watch. And that has a very sort of dynamic dial. It's got machine blinds on the dial.
Yeah.
There's a lot going on, and it's blue as well.
Yeah, 'cause it's a very matte black, isn't it?
It's matte black.
It doesn't really change a lot in the light.
No.
The indices are quite nice, the kind of applied indices.
Yeah, applied indices.
And I think the date at 6 is also looks pretty good.
Yeah, that was a reason why I went for it initially. And there's a little bit of text on there as well, just outlining the water resistance.
Yeah, which is quite impressive. The 300 meters.
Yeah.
Serious diver.
Certified diver.
Certified diver
for sure.
So then, like reasons you're selling, I think you've touched on a few of them.
Yeah.
So what would number one be?
The number one is the lack of wrist time now.
Yeah, I mean
I don't wear it very often. It's just sat in my watch box.
Yeah. I think there's not much point in keeping something that you don't use. I mean, I think it's good for
especially when it's a watch that still is worth quite a bit of money.
Yeah.
It seems silly to hold on to it when I'm not really wearing it.
Yeah, or enjoying it really. Like someone else can get some enjoyment out of it, then why not?
Yeah,
give her a second life.
Give her a second life. Yeah.
Away from your wrist.
Yeah.
Okay, and then some of the more specific. So you mentioned the bulbousness, shall we call it? Is that reason number two?
Yeah. So the Formex that I've got, the Oris Diver 65, they're very slim. They have a very slim profile, and I've just warmed to that type of watch.
Yeah.
More recently.
Yeah.
Whenever I do put the Aquis on, it just feels like massive. And I'm just not drawn to it.
No.
Like I used to be.
Yeah.
Which is quite sad, really.
Yeah.
But I guess
people change.
People change. Yeah. People change.
It's not me. It's you.
But
yeah, I see what you mean, because it's not particularly thick, but I think it's because it's so short lug to lug.
Yeah.
And then quite. It does feel.
But there's not even like a domed sapphire crystal either.
Yeah.
It's sapphire crystal, by the way.
Yeah. I know. I can see exactly what you mean there. So that's 1 and 2, and then what's reason number 3?
Yeah. So the integrated bracelet. It lacks versatility in that department. The only other strap or bracelet you can put on this watch is an Oris proprietary bracelet, which I think significantly limits the watch.
Oh yeah. And it also increases like the cost of changing it. If you did want an Oris one, I imagine they're a few £100s at least.
It's not such a bad thing because the bracelet is so well executed. It's a very nice bracelet. It tapers down really, really nicely. It's a mix of brushed and polished finishing. Yeah,
it catches the light very nicely.
So you could argue there's not really a need to change the bracelet, but if you wanted to, your options are limited.
There.
I
think that's a very good point, isn't it, for people to consider, especially once you're 18 months down the line and you maybe would want to mix things up a bit. It does limit you. And then what would reason number 4 be of 5?
I would say we touched on it earlier, but the salita movement.
Okay.
It doesn't perform that well. This Seiko that I'm wearing at the moment is far more accurate and reliable.
Yeah.
This loses several seconds every day.
Yeah.
Which is a shame, I think. I wouldn't expect that on a watch that costs £1,500.
It might, maybe it was just never set up that well to begin with.
Yeah, and I know you can send it away and have it calibrated, which
probably needs a service.
Yeah, potentially. And it's not cost certified. It doesn't really go through any vigorous testing before actually being assembled. So it is what it is with the salita movement. But leave any comments on the video if you too have had that experience with the salita movement.
Yeah, especially in Oris's. Because I had a similar on my Diver 65. Yeah, it was actually so bad that I ended up sending it back to Oris, and then even now that it's gone back to Oris and then come back to me, it's still not great, to be honest. It does seem to be a bit of a theme, or we're both just very clumsy and knock our watches around too much. I'm not sure. So then I think we've had 4 out of the 5 reasons for selling. So what would the final reason be?
So the final reason would be that I've actually bought a second Oris watch, and it is the Diver 65.
So you've gone full
I've
circle.
gone full
almost.
circle from really not being interested in the Diver 65 to really being interested in it.
Yeah.
And as a result, yeah, I'm wearing that watch far more often.
Yeah.
I like the vintage aesthetic, as we've obviously alluded to in the other video.
The blue dial.
The blue dial, the domed
Thinner.
sapphire crystal,
Yeah.
how thin the watch is,
Yeah.
and the fact that you can actually take out the bracelet.
Yeah, and mix it up a
Yeah, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I don't see the need to have 2 Orises in my collection now. So
That's true.
one of them's got to go.
And 2 Oris dive watches as well. Very similar.
Yeah.
And I guess when you see the 2 of them in the box, you're always picking up one.
I'm always picking up one and completely, disregarding the other.
Yeah, the poor watch.
The
I
poor
almost feel sorry for the Aquis.
Sad state of affairs. But. So yes, those are the 5 reasons why I will be selling the Oris Aquis. As always, leave your comments underneath the video. If any of you actually own this watch, please feel free to leave your comments underneath, telling us about your experience with the watch.
Yeah, and telling us about why Ben's wrong, potentially.
Yeah, I'm not.
But as ever, please do like the video if you liked it. Subscribe to the channel if you'd like to see more of our content. But until next time, we've been Lug to Lug, and thanks very much for watching.
Thank you.
Bye.